seguimos con el mantra mentalmente, coordinándolo con la respiración y descansando simultáneamente la conciencia en el punto entre las cejas o en la mitad del pecho. Acuérdense que una vez que escojamos el punto, permanecemos siempre en ese punto. Para darle más tiempito al Swami, vamos a hacer el Jaya Ganesha, el Jaya Ganesha de corrido, todo así de corrido, y después viene pues Pablo o Brenda, la que más sienta, pero que ya esté de una acá, la que sienta como el llamado. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha Pa Imam. Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha, Sri Ganesha Rakshamam. Sharapana Baba, Sharapana Baba, Sharapana Baba Pa Imam. Subramanya, Subramanya, Subramanya Rakshamam. Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati Pa Imam. Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati, Sri Saraswati Rakshamam. Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram. Jagat Guru Param Guru Sat Guru Sham. Om Hari Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om. Trit Guru Shikana Guru Shimaya Guru Om. Om Hari Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om. Trit Guru Shikana Guru Shimaya Guru Om. Kare Rama, Kare Rama, Rama Rama. Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Agastya Munaye, Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Rama Priyaye Namaha. Sri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Anjaneya 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 Pai. Kanmanta 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 Rakshamam. Dattatreya 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 Pai Mam. Datta Guru Datta Guru Datta Guru Rakshamam. Shankaracharya 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 Pai. Pai Guru Pai Guru Pai Guru Rakshamam. Krishnam Bande Jagatu, Krishnam Bande Jagatu. Anando Brahmanando, Anandam Brahmanandam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
continuación quisiera compartir un kirtan dirigido al Guru, que no sé, amanecí con ese kirtan en la cabeza. Y también la invitación como que por un lado honrar los gurús y también como ese gurú interno, esa luz interna que tenemos todos.
Sakana Bhavatu, Sakana Ubhunaktu, Saviryam Karvavahe, Tejasvina Paditamastu, Ma Vidvishabahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Paz Paz Paz. Om Namah Shivaya. Bueno, como les conté ayer, hoy arrancamos una serie de Satsangs con Swami Kenananda y él es muy devoto de Shiva. Swami, what is the name of your guru?
Shiva Bala Yogi.
El nombre del gurú es Shiva Bala Yogi y son muy hacia la meditación, pues, o sea, medita mínimo una hora seguida, bueno, y es muy como con la meditación. Y como les dije ayer, esta es la tercera vez que está pues acá en el Shivaratri. Entonces es muy especial tener a alguien pues de Shiva acá ya por 3 años pues en el Shivaratri, que eso va a ser el sábado y es el día más auspicioso para adorar a Shiva pues y para recibir pues todas las bendiciones de Shiva, que él nos va a explicar pues más de todo eso.
You're going to be my translator? Yes, right here.
Everything there?
Mm-hmm. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Let's see. It is getting close to Shivaratri, the day the world celebrates Shiva come about. It's hard to say his birth, when it was. I will talk a little bit about his birth. Once Brahma and Vishnu got into an argument. Who is the strongest and who is the most wisest? They had an argument going on. And right between them, all of a sudden, a big light, bright light, as shaped like a human, came out. They're amazed. What is this? So Brahma turned himself into a bird to see if he can find the top of it. Vishnu turned himself into a ball, and he decided to drill himself under the ground and find the bottom of
Y Vishnu
This.
decidió volverse una pelota,
a ball, round ball.
Una pelota para ver hacia el fondo el principio.
Both of them came back, and they said they cannot find the top or the bottom.
Y los dos llegaron y dijeron no podemos encontrar ni el principio hacia arriba ni hacia abajo.
This energy is infinite,
Porque esta energía es infinita,
without no beginning or ending.
no tiene principio ni final.
So the story says where Shiva came from.
Y esta es la historia a través de la cual se dice que Shiva llegó.
Now there's many stories with Shiva.
Y hay muchas historias con Shiva.
One of them where Ganesh came from.
Y una es como llegó Ganesh.
You all have heard the story, maybe?
Tal vez no oyeron la historia.
Yes. I will repeat it real fast.
Voy a repetir muy rápido.
Parvati was taking a shower and asked this child that she made out of dirt to protect the house.
Entonces Parvati se quería duchar y le dijo a este niño que ella hizo con el barro que la protegiera.
Not to come into the house,
Que nadie
anybody.
entrara a la casa.
Shiva was on Mount Kailash for many, many lifetimes meditating,
Y Shiva estaba en el monte Kailash por muchos días meditando.
and he decided to go home to Parvati.
Y decidió ir a la casa a visitar a Parvati.
And he met this form in front of him,
Y se encontró con esta forma y él entró a la casa.
Ganesh.
Ganesh.
And he would not let him in. He says, I don't know who you are. I can't let anybody in.
Y le dijo Ganesh, le dijo, yo no tengo ni idea quién eres y no puedo entrar a nadie. No sé.
Shiva, with his anger, cut his head off.
Y Shiva furioso le cortó la cabeza.
Parvati come running out with tears. You've killed our son.
Y Parvati salió llorando porque le habían matado al hijo.
So right away,
Entonces
Shiva ran in the forest and asked if there anybody would offer their head.
Entonces Shiva salió corriendo a la selva a ver si alguien ofrecía su cabeza.
And the elephant bowed down and says, take mine.
Y un elefante se postró y dijo, coge la mía.
So he cut his head off
Y cogió, le cortó la cabeza,
and ran as fast as he could to put it on top of the body again.
corrió a la lata para ponerle la cabeza.
So this is why Ganesh has this here elephant head.
Y por eso es que Ganesh tiene la cabeza de elefante.
There's a little more to this story though.
Pero hay más en esta historia.
Shiva blessed it and gave it powers.
Y Shiva le dio poderes y lo bendijo.
All the gods were happy what was happening.
Y todos los dioses estaban felices.
It said that he will be the master of all wisdom
Y le dijo que iba a ser el maestro de toda la sabiduría.
and the remover of all obstacles.
Y el que remueve todos los obstáculos.
To this day in India, any temple you go to will have a Ganesh.
Y en todas las partes de India, en cualquier templo, siempre vamos a encontrar Ganesh.
It is proper when you see a Ganesh temple to walk around it 3 times even.
Y hay partes en que siempre que va a entrar a una parte y darle 3 vueltas a Ganesh.
The purpose of walking around it 3 times is to let go of this ego, to let go of all these thoughts you have.
Y el propósito de dar estas vueltas es dejar el ego, todos
De-
los pensamientos que tenemos,
The remover of obstacles.
y remover los obstáculos.
And then you can enter to the temple.
Y así de esa manera uno puede entrar al templo.
Many of the temples, people walk around it before they enter now.
Por eso muchas veces antes de entrar a los templos ahí uno hace esas 3 vueltas por Ganesh.
All these deities from India, they're like icons on your computer.
Y todas estas deidades son como
Icons on the computer?
son como algo que es bueno, íconos,
Yeah.
como íconos del computador.
When you open them up, you'll see what's in front of it, much information.
Cuando uno lo abre, como se encuentra información.
You open up Ganesh, you'll find loads of information.
Y uno pone clic en Ganesh, hay más información.
Once a great sage
Una vez un gran sabio
is going to write down the history of life,
quería escribir la historia de la vida
but he had nothing to write it with.
y no tenía nada por qué escribir.
So Ganesh came and tore off one of his tusks.
Entonces Ganesha se cortó uno de sus colmillos
So he wrote the Mahabharata with
y él
the husk.
con este colmillo escribió el Mahabharata.
And the Mahabharata is a story of life. All of you are in it.
Y toda esta Mahabharata es una historia de la vida y todos estamos ahí.
Would you like to read it?
¿Quiere leerlo?
It is 28 volumes long.
Es una cantidad de 26 tomos.
It's the longest epic poem ever written, ever.
Es el pico más grande que se ha escrito en la historia.
The Bhagavad Gita is part of it.
Y el Bhagavad Gita es una parte de esto.
Now Shiva,
Shiva,
there was many girls loved Shiva.
muchas chicas adoraban a Shiva.
But this one girl,
Pero
her
una
name was Ganga.
se llamaba Ganga.
She fell head over heels over Shiva.
Y ella, ¿será que?
Head over heels?
Se cayó, pues, cayó, pues,
English slang.
cayó.
But she could not get Shiva's attention.
Pero no lograba coger la atención de Shiva.
So Cupid says, I can get his attention.
Entonces, ¿qué le dijo?
Cupid, the one with the bow and arrow.
Ah, sí, Cupido le dijo, yo, tranquilo, que yo lo logro.
We all knew who Cupid is.
Cupido, pues, entonces,
Has anybody been hit by Cupid here?
hay uno que ya lo pensó Cupido.
And so Cupid hid behind the bushes and Shiva was meditating.
Entonces se fue, le dio una presa, pues ahí donde estaba meditando la cena.
He shot his bow and shot Shiva.
Entonces le tiró y le pegó con Shiva.
When he did this, Shiva's third eye opened
Y cuando hizo eso, el tercer ojo de Shiva se abrió.
and burnt him right there. Poof,
Y lo
gone.
incendió, lo incineró de una, lo ceniza.
Ganga comes running with tears.
Y Ganga arranca a llorar, llena de lágrimas.
He did this for me, not, he didn't do it. It was me that he did it for.
Y después le dice, él simplemente lo hizo por mí, él no quería hacer eso, yo fui la que lo quería hacer.
So with Shiva's power, it brought it back alive again.
Entonces Shiva le volvió a dar el vida.
Poof. Now, this year, marriage has happened with Ganga.
Y este año es el caso Shiva con Ganga,
But there is a little problem.
pero hay un problema.
Ganga's dad was Himalaya.
El papá de Ganga está en los Himalayas
He did not like Shiva.
y no le gustaba Shiva.
He thought it should not have got married.
Y pensaba que no era él, que era para su hijo.
As time passed,
Y el tiempo pasó,
Himalaya decided to have a great big party.
entonces el papá de Ganga quería tener una fiesta muy grande.
They invited all the gods to this party.
Y invitó a todos los dioses.
Even Ganda went.
Y hasta Ganga fue.
It was a great fest at that time,
Y era una gran festival.
but they did not invite Shiva.
Pero no invitó a Shiva.
Big mistake.
Gran, un gran error.
So Shiva invited all his rakshas,
Entonces Shiva invitó a todos los sus rakshasas, que son los que lo acompañan,
demons,
los demonios,
and they all went to crash the party.
y entonces fueron a la de colados.
It was such a ruckus. It's amazing the ruckus that happened.
Sí, creo que es que
A ruckus, a turmoil.
hubo otro que no... Escándalo, pues.
That it infested, or it created a big problem on the next planet, how do I say it? The Middle Earth, where we are.
¿Entendés?
Yeah. Well, what happened, this is from the third world, all this is happening. Down below, it had created a disturbance.
Okay,
disturbance.
adentro de la tierra empezó eso,
Yeah.
tremendo escándalo.
And this created the whole story of Rama.
Y ahí se crea la historia de Rama.
At that time, when Rama was a child,
Cuando Rama era un niño,
a lot of the demons were destroying all the artifacts of spirituality.
Muchos de los lenguajes estaban destruyendo todos los artículos de la espiritualidad.
And the turmoil happened through the world.
Y es una cosa horrible para el mundo.
So all this is connected with all the worlds going on.
Y todo eso se conecta con todos los mundos.
Now let's look at who Shiva really is.
Entonces ahora vamos a ver quién realmente es Shiva.
You have a Shiva dancing?
Down. But we bring
One
it.
here? Yeah, right, yeah.
¿De what?
What am I trying to think of?
Natarash.
Yeah.
Ya, abajo está Natarash, que está al
You,
abajo.
you see Shiva is dancing and it has fire all the way around him.
Está Shiva bailando y con fuego.
Is that Nataraj? Anybody know Nataraj?
Natarash.
Yeah. And
Está
there,
en el altar de abajo.
the fire stands for the divine light, light all around it.
Y tiene luz alrededor.
And he's dancing on a baby.
Y está danzando en un bebé.
The baby is Maya.
Y el bebé es Maya.
We all know what Maya is.
Todos sabemos que es Maya.
It's this illusion that's happening right here now.
Y es esa ilusión que nos está pasando en este momento.
As long as that we are caught into this illusion of duality,
Mientras estemos en esta ilusión de dualidad,
it's creating Maya.
estamos creando Maya.
So this dance is going on and on.
Y esta danza está pasando siempre.
I'd like to talk about a video I saw once. It was beautifully.
Quiero hablar de un video que vi muy bacano.
Shiva was going through the streets and the drums were beating. Boom, boom, boom.
Arrancó Shiva a andar por la calle y arrancar los tambores. Boom, boom, boom.
Shiva is sitting on a high platform on the wagon.
Y se paró en una gran plataforma.
And the power of the drums got louder and the horns got louder.
Y empezaron los tambores mucho más fuerte y las...
The closer it got to civilization, it got very loud.
Y apenas llegó a la civilización empezó a grabar el sonido.
The noise was so loud, everything started destroying all around it.
Que el sonido era tan impresionante que todo se empezó a destruir.
It looked like that everything was going to be completely destroyed.
Y parecía que todo se había destruido.
Then Parvati, she opens the window and she starts singing.
Entonces Parvati abre la ventana y arranca a cantar.
The energy calmed down. Shiva could not help it but calm down. And
Y calmó a todos, inclusive a Shiva se calmó.
the only one who could control Shiva was his wife.
Y la única que lo puede controlar es su mujer, Parvati.
Otherwise, it had been totally destroyed,
Si
everything.
no, se hubiera destruido todo.
We're going through ages constantly that are changing.
Vamos a través de eras que van cambiando.
There's supposed to have been 6 changes so far of living and dying, of everything completely destroyed and then start over.
Entonces, las aceras se destruyen y vuelven a arrancar.
We're in the Kali Yuga right now.
Y estamos en Kali en este momento.
This is the time when the mind is filled with thoughts all the time.
Y ese es el momento en que la mente está llena de pensamientos todo el tiempo.
We're trying to figure out how to get rid of these thoughts.
Y tratamos de liberarnos de esos pensamientos.
It can be very hard to meditate.
Y puede ser muy difícil de meditar.
How do we clear this mind out?
Entonces, ¿cómo lo limpiamos?
By having this eruption of all these thoughts.
Teniendo un...
Eruption,
una erupción de
Yeah.
todos estos
All these different thoughts.
pensamientos. ¿Cómo hacemos con esa erupción de pensamientos?
we do not get the true knowledge,
Y por eso no obtenemos el verdadero conocimiento,
the knowledge of Shiva.
el conocimiento de Shiva.
Another symbol of Shiva is always meditating.
Otro símbolo es que la medita,
In that meditation, he is a symbol of knowledge.
y la meditación es un símbolo del conocimiento.
Now, it's not the knowledge of 2 and 2 is 4.
Y no es el conocimiento de 2 por 2 de 2 más 2, 4.
It's a higher knowledge.
Es un conocimiento más elevado.
It's a knowledge of the self.
Es un conocimiento del ser.
And the self is infinite without no beginning or ending.
Y el conocimiento es infinito.
It's Shiva himself.
Es Shiva.
We got to come aware of this self we are.
Y debemos ser conscientes del ser que somos.
We have to find a way to get out of this ignorance.
Y tenemos que salir de este ignorancia.
As long as we have our 5 senses going out and calling this reality, we do not know what truth is yet.
Mientras estemos con los sentidos hacia afuera, nunca sabremos lo que es la verdadera verdad.
We have to understand who this self is.
Tenemos que entender quién es el ser.
This self is one, without a second.
Es uno sin segundo.
So we have to discover what this is.
Y tenemos que descubrir qué es.
We hear the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva,
Oímos la Trinidad, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva,
the creator, preserver, destroyer.
el creador, el preservador y el destructor.
What is Shiva destroying?
¿Qué es lo que destruye entonces Shiva?
Is this ignorance
Es la ignorancia,
with this knowledge that you gain.
para que el conocimiento pueda entrar.
So you have to find a way to get this knowledge.
Y tenemos que encontrar este conocimiento.
It is your life travels to find this out.
Y esto es en lo que venimos a hacer en la vida.
Who am I?
¿Quién soy yo?
What is this life about?
¿De qué se trata esta vida?
What's going on right now?
¿Qué es lo que pasa con la hora?
Let's discover this self.
Y eso nos lleva a descubrir el ser.
Shiva would definitely guide you that way.
Y Shiva nos guía en esta dirección.
You can give it any name you want, but it's still you must get this knowledge who the self is.
Tener el nombre que queramos, pero es este conocimiento lo que queremos.
I don't know if you can say that. Thou art that. I am.
Eso es eso. Pues es una Mahavakya, que dice, eso es eso.
Is a great Vedantic words. It's relating that I am that.
Y eso significa que yo soy eso.
Not the I of the ego, but the I of the divine self.
Y no el yo del ego, sino el del ser divino.
The one who does not change.
El que no cambia.
That is Shiva.
Eso es Shiva.
I am that.
I am that. Yo soy yo.
We relate to knowledge with this mind.
Nos relacionamos con el conocimiento con la mente.
All the thoughts that come in your mind from objects that you see,
Todos los pensamientos que vienen de los objetos que vemos,
all your five senses, smelling, touch,
todos los
smell,
sentidos,
see, touch, you'll see it, touch, and
mirar, ver, tocar,
smell.
oler, oír,
They're all going out,
todos van hacia afuera
and they're always relating to the objects as touch.
y se relacionan con los objetos que tocan.
Now, when you want to know something,
Entonces, cuando queremos saber algo,
you depend on this mind
dependemos de esta mente
to give you a picture.
que te dé una figura.
This is the outside knowledge I'm talking about.
Y eso es el conocimiento hacia afuera del que estoy hablando.
There's a higher knowledge.
Pero hay un conocimiento superior
This knowledge has no existence of a duality.
y no tiene existencia de dualidad.
I say that myself is a subject and I'm looking at you as an object.
Yo siento que yo soy un sujeto y los miro a ustedes como un objeto.
So this is the mind at work.
Y eso es cómo funciona la mente, el network de la mente.
Now we want to relate who this self is, this
Queremos
God.
saber qué es este ser.
We want to understand who that self is. We have to go beyond a subject and object that was going
Si
on.
queremos saber qué es el ser, tenemos que ir más allá de sujeto-objeto.
God is the supreme subject.
El ser, Dios es el supremo sujeto
It has no object.
y no tiene objeto.
It is the subject only.
Solamente es el sujeto.
To come to a realization of this, that's who you are.
Y darnos cuenta de esto es lo que realmente somos.
This is where the true knowledge will come from.
Y así viene el verdadero conocimiento.
There Shiva is meditating.
Y así Shiva está meditando.
Yes. I need water, really.
Agua.
How we doing?
¿Cómo está?
Now we know this. The subject is who am I?
Ya sabemos que el sujeto es lo que somos.
And the object will be the same thing.
Y de dónde es?
A subject and object will be the same.
Y que el sujeto y el objeto son lo mismo.
There cannot be a second.
Porque no hay dos.
So if we're relating to this external world as Maya,
Cuando nos relacionamos con Maya, el mundo exterior,
this makes two worlds,
se crean dos mundos,
two ones.
dos unos,
We can't have that.
y no podemos tener eso.
So we got to come to this self, who it is.
Y debemos llegar al ser, al que verdaderamente es.
How do we do this? We cannot see the self.
No podemos ver el ser, entonces ¿cómo lo hacemos?
No matter what, you can't see who this self is.
No puedes ver lo que sea, pero no puedes ver lo que es el ser.
So we have to go in. We have to start reversing this direction of who am I.
Entonces tenemos que ir hacia adentro y reversar la dirección a la que vamos.
There's one way that is, they have found is by recognizing everything that is coming through the senses, and it's not this.
No es algo que podemos ver a través de los sentidos.
Nady. It ain't this, it ain't this, it
Y
ain't
está
this.
ese método que se dice que no es esto, no es aquello, no es esto, no es aquello.
When you find out that it's, you cannot find, pardon me, when you can't find the answer, there it is.
Cuando nos damos cuenta que nos algo y no encontramos la respuesta, ahí llega.
To get to this stage, we have to learn meditation.
Y para llegar a ese estado necesitamos aprender de la meditación.
We learn our body, we do asanas,
Entonces aprendemos del cuerpo, aprendemos asanas,
we do Laya Yoga, study the mind.
hacemos Laya Yoga para calmar la mente,
We do bhakti, devotion.
hacemos bhakti, devoción,
On this devotion,
y esta devoción,
we have like a Ganesh.
cuando tenemos un Ganesh,
If you put devotion to a linga or a statue of Ganesh or Krishna,
ponemos una devoción a una estatua de Ganesha, de Linga, de Krishna,
this helps you put your mind in one direction.
nos ayuda a poner la mente en una dirección,
It puts you into a state of calmness.
y te pone en un estado de calma.
I was going to mention one problem that people have sometimes.
Y podamos llegar a un problema que la gente tiene a veces.
They buy a statue of Ganesh.
Compra la estatua de Ganesha
They hear his removal of obstacles and they bow down to it.
y saben que remueve los obstáculos y se postran.
Then they get caught into the world again.
Y se meten otra vez, caen en el mundo otra vez.
And the statue sits there with neglect.
Y la estatua ya no la vuelven a volver a mirar.
And what happens when you put no neglect on things like this? That you have energy to it.
¿Y qué pasa cuando niegas algo que te habías puesto energía?
It can create chaos in the house.
Empieza a crear caos en la casa.
You're better off giving the Ganesh to somebody else that could use it.
Si eso pasa, es mejor regalar el Ganesha a alguien que de verdad lo...
I've seen this happen in Fairfield, Iowa.
Y he visto eso donde yo vivo.
This is a place where Ramana Maharshi had an ashram.
Es un lugar donde
USA.
Ramana Maharshi tenía un ashram.
A devotee there started making big, huge statues of Shiva and Ganesh.
Entonces empezó un devoto a hacer estatuas de Ganesha, de Shiva.
Oh, everybody wanted one in their house.
Todo el mundo quería uno para la casa.
But next thing, they started being neglected.
Pero después ya lo neglect,
No worship at all.
no le daban energía, no le daban adoración.
It created chaos in their house, problems.
Empieza a crear problemas en la casa.
Maharishi told people, he said, just give them away. Don't have them in your house.
Entonces Rishi le dijo, regálenla, no las tengan en la casa.
So in this direction of worship, do it correctly.
Entonces si vamos a hacer adoración, hay que hacerla
It's
correcta.
very important in your life.
Es muy importante en esta
Yes.
vida.
Let's see. Karma yoga,
Karma yoga,
very important.
muy importante.
In karma yoga is learning how to do action
Entonces,
without getting caught into the action.
sé cómo actuar sin caer en la acción.
You're doing something for the sake of just doing it.
Solamente lo hacemos por el único propósito de hacerlo.
Getting caught into looking for rewards of any kind,
Pero si miramos la recompensa de cualquier tipo,
a pat on the back, a smile. No, you don't need that.
ni siquiera una sonrisa, no necesitamos nada.
You have to let go right away after the action is done.
Tenemos que dar va a ir a resultar hasta que cuando ya hicimos la acción.
You have to learn that action and inaction action is the same thing as karma yoga.
Tenemos que entender que el karma yoga es la acción en la inacción y la inacción en la acción. Es un verso del Bhagavad Gita.
The action is happening,
La acción ocurre,
but it's not happening.
pero no pasa.
It's like saying God exists, but it doesn't exist.
Es como decir que Dios existe, pero no existe.
It's there, but it's not there.
Está ahí, pero no está.
It's this point of oneness. It can't have a duality.
Es apuntar a uno que no tiene dualidad.
If you say it's one thing, then it's have to be the other thing, the opposite.
Cuando dice que hay algo de una forma que hay un opuesto.
Like if there's a right,
Si hay una
there's a wrong.
Si hay algo correcto, hay algo incorrecto.
There's a yes, there's a no.
Si hay un sí, hay un no.
All these pairs of opposites. We have to get into a truth where there is no pairs of opposites.
Tenemos que llegar a la verdad donde no hay estos pares de opuestos.
There is this oneness that exists.
Donde solamente hay uno, que es lo que existe.
Now this back to the karma yoga.
Y volviendo al karma yoga,
This is very hard to understand, this inaction in action.
es muy difícil entender qué significa la inacción en la acción.
I'll see if I can tell you a story.
Vamos a ver si les puedo decir una historia.
Once there was this farmer that lived in the village.
Había un campesino que vivía en la vereda
The village all worked together to make their crops.
y todos los vecinos trabajaban juntos para los sembrados.
But there's this one man, he would always blame the outside world for all his troubles.
Pero había un hombre que siempre le echaba la culpa a todo lo que le pasaba, al mundo.
If he stumbled his foot, he'd blame somebody being close to him, or there was a rock that they put there.
Pero si se tropezaba, decía, no es culpa de que alguien puso una piedra porque no se tropezaba.
So he's always yelling at him.
Y siempre estaba echando la culpa a la gente.
It came to be in his house, he started yelling at his wife and children.
Y cuando llegaba a la casa, empezaba a echar la culpa a los niños y a la mujer.
He never had a good word to say to anybody.
Nunca tenía una palabra bonita para decirle a nadie.
Everybody's really getting sick of him.
Entonces yo estaba ya harto con él.
And when they got sick of him, he felt twice as bad about these people.
Y cuando se trataron con él, se sentía doblemente, como si no hubiese con la gente.
More and more angry with these people.
Estaba más y más bravo con la gente.
He went in rage, yelling, screaming at them.
Y empezaba a gritarles.
They all said, "You have to leave." His wife and children didn't want to see him. His family, the house didn't want anybody, nobody wanted to see him.
La mujer, los hijos, todo de la vereda.
So he stormed out of there with such anger.
Entonces la gente empezó un odio pues terrible.
He went into a deep forest,
Y entró a la profunda selva.
and there he sat there cussing and swearing at the squirrels and the trees and everything else around him.
Y se metió ahí, cerca.
Cussing, swearing at the trees
Y
and
arrancó pues a
Squirrels.
culpabilizar a todo lo que había a los árboles y los animales, todo se le da tiempo.
then a wagon of people come into the forest.
Entonces llegó una manada de gente a la selva.
He said, "Halt, stop."
Y le dijeron, pare todo.
He got him out and killed every one of them. Just so angry.
Estaba tan furioso que por fin mató a todo el mundo.
Why are you in my forest?
Porque estaba en su selva.
And then he cut their fingers off, every one of them.
Y entonces arrancó a cortarles el dedo a cada uno.
He started making a necklace.
Y empezó a hacer una de ellos.
By the way, this is a true story.
Para que sepamos una historia de la vida real.
How would you like to meet him?
Que si quieren conocerlo.
Well, all the people that came through there always cut their fingers off. He had a big necklace of fingers.
Entonces arrancó con una colección pues, de dedos con collares de dedos.
Then the village before the forest, Buddha came through there.
Entonces llegó Buda.
And Buddha would start heading towards the forest.
Entonces Buda se metió a la selva.
They said, "Don't go in there, there's a madman."
Y le dijeron, no se meta ahí, que hay un loco.
Now, if you know anything about these great spiritual souls, if they head off one direction, they can't turn another direction. They have to keep going in that same direction.
Entonces, si ustedes saben, el Buda, todo es el oro,
No.
Buda.
You have to go that direction.
Si Buda va a una dirección, no hay nadie que lo pare, se puede pues ahí ir a ver.
So he starts walking into the woods.
Entonces arrancó a meterse en la selva.
And at that time, this madman, he sees him from a distance.
Y este loco lo ve a lo lejos.
And he yells at him from a distance, says, "Hey, you, stop."
Entonces le dice, hey, pare pues.
So he starts running after him.
Y arrancó, el malo empieza a correr.
Now, Buddha's a fast walker. He's trucking.
Y Buda no corre tanto.
And he gets close to him and he says, "I told you to stop."
Y de voz aquí te dijo, te dije que pares.
Buddha just keep walking.
Y Buda siguió caminando.
Finally, he gets right next to him. He said, "Can't you hear me?" I said, "Stop right now."
Entonces se puso aquí y pare ya.
And Buddha smiles at him and he says, "It's you that's moving, not me."
Y Buda estaba ahí y dijo, no es tú el que se está moviendo, no soy yo.
That's inaction and action and
Y
action
esa
and action.
es la inacción, en la acción.
Now you understand. Huh?
Ahora entienden,
We want to get in the stage as Buddha.
queremos llegar a ese estado de Buda.
We're doing the actions, but not caught into it, you know?
Nosotros hacemos la acción,
Huh? We're not caught into the action.
hacemos la acción, pero no caemos en la acción.
What is grounding us here and putting us into this illusion is time, space, causation.
Lo que nos hace caer en la ilusión es el tiempo, el espacio y el causa y efecto.
The problem with time is always has a dependence on the past and the future.
El problema del tiempo es que depende del pasado y del futuro.
So it's not independent.
Entonces no es independiente.
Same goes with space. There has to be 2 or 3 sides to recognize space.
Lo mismo con el espacio, tiene que haber varios walls, ¿no?
Yeah, it needs walls, yeah. Just like there's walls everywhere here. So it's dependent on it. So it's not alone. And causation is always this birth and death happening all the time of everything. The 3 are depending on each other even. Time is needs objects. And time is action. Without any movement, there is no time. And the action needs time to move. Space needs action. And the causation is that action changing. So they always need something to depend on. They're not the oneness. So we have to get beyond that. We have to come to this relationship of the time is always now. That is dropping away from time then. The form is the formless form.
La forma es la no forma.
It exists, but it don't exist.
Existe, pero no existe.
It's in that oneness, everything. And what is changing? Nothing changes.
¿Qué es lo que cambia? Nada cambia.
How can one change? There's always one.
¿Cómo puede uno cambiar si siempre es uno?
We want to come to understanding that we are that divine self.
Debemos llegar a ese entendimiento, conocimiento de que somos ese uno.
I am that.
Yo soy eso.
Are we still on the subject of Shiva?
Sale del Shiva.
Right? Yeah, of course. We are that Shiva, but we just haven't recognized it.
Somos Shiva.
Yeah.
Sí, así lo reconozcamos.
I'd like to end it up now.
Voy a acabar ahora.
I'll tell you a little bit of my guru,
hablándoles de mi gurú,
maybe tomorrow more.
y mañana más.
Shiva means God, as we just talked about.
Shiva significa Dios, como dije.
When this young boy in this small village
Él era chiquito en una pequeña vereda
went into a deep, deep meditation.
y entró en una meditación muy, muy profunda,
So deep that nobody can get him out of it.
tan profunda que nadie lo podía sacar.
He was 14 years old.
Tenía 14 años.
He was playing with a bunch of his friends, and all of a sudden this happened, that the way he puts it, he ran into a soul that told him to close his eyes and meditate.
Él estaba jugando con los amigos y empezó a meditar de la nada.
When he lost consciousness, he right away went into samadhi.
Entró en samadhi, perdió la conciencia.
His mother came and uncle, and they tried to get him out of the
El
meditation.
tío y la mamá llegaron para sacarlo de la meditación
They took a stick and started hitting him in the head with it even.
y empezaron a pegar un palo en la cabeza.
They got him just to open his eyes.
Y ¿qué iba a pegar?
They got him to open his
Y
eyes.
lograron que abriera los ojos.
Yeah. They carried him home and put him on the porch.
Y lo pusieron, llegaron a la casa y lo pusieron a la terraza.
Only the next morning they saw him back where that same spot meditating.
Y al otro día le encontraron ahí mismo, le lo pusieron meditando.
He stayed in that meditation day and night, 24 hours a day for 6 months.
Estuvo así por 6 meses, 24 horas meditando.
No water, no food,
Sin agua, sin comida,
the sun very hot, beating on him.
y con un solazo, pues sin sol.
Then came a very high soul named Tapaswiji Maharaj.
Y llegó un gran ser.
He says, this boy is dying.
Y le dijo, este niño se está muriendo.
So he sat next to him and started meditating with him.
Entonces arrancó a meditar al lado de él.
And then grabbed him and got him to open his eyes.
Y lo cogió y lo que abrió los ojos.
He told him that he has to come out for 1 hour every day to drink a glass of milk.
Y le dijo que tenía que salir todos los días por 1 hora para tomar un vasito de leche.
So he started meditating 23 hours a day.
Entonces arrancó a meditar 23 horas al día.
Weeks, months, years go by as him in that
Empezaron los
position.
días, los meses, los años.
When Swami met him in 1980,
Cuando el Swami lo reconoció,
pardon me, 1990,
en el 1999,
his hands were so many years like this, they start growing together.
y las manos estaban tanto tiempo así que la cosa la punta.
When I met him, he gave me the job to meditate, to massage him every day.
Mi caballo era masajearme las manos todos los días.
His fingers, I remember, they were so soft, and his fingers would always go back no matter what. They were permanently like this. And there's so many years sitting there like this.
Tantos años así.
Well, when he came out, it was 8 years go by.
Cuando volvió, pasaron 8 años.
By this time, many things have happened. A hurricane has happened. He through that meditation.
Pasaron muchas cosas, como un huracán, entonces meditaba.
A cobra bit him twice, and he sit in meditation.
Agua,
A cobra,
cobra,
yeah.
llegó y estaba meditando.
He blanked out for 3 days on that.
Y
3 days he blanked out on that.
Blanca,
He came unconscious.
ok, pero llegó la cobra. Ah, la cobra murió.
Yeah. When he came out, his mind started thinking, it's time to come out.
Cuando se despertó, dijo, bueno, la hora de salir.
He stood up and started heading towards the doorway.
Y se tropezaba contra la puerta.
By this time, they built a building around him, his meditation.
Entonces le pusieron una,
Yeah.
pues, como una casita para que pudiera meditar.
Oof. When he started getting up, who did he meet at the doorway but Shiva?
¿Quién cree que encontró en la puerta? Shiva.
And Shiva says, where are you going?
¿Para dónde vas?
He says, you have done a very good meditation,
Le dijo Shiva, hiciste una buena meditación.
but you did not ask for permission to come out.
No pediste permiso para salir.
So you must go back in.
Entonces, otra vez vuelva.
Instead of 23 hours, you go in for 12 hours from now on.
Y ahora volvió otro por 12 horas.
So he did 12 hours of meditation, another 4 years.
Entonces, por 4 días, 12 horas de meditación. Ay. No fue como...
Then Shiva and Prabhupada both showed up.
Cuando Shiva y Parvati
Both of them came up to him and says, it is time for you to come out August 7th. That's the day we'll get married.
Parvati hizo ellos vuelva el 7 de agosto.
He said, that's the day we got married.
Y ese es el día que se casaron en junio.
Yeah. So August 7th to this day, all over the world, a lot of people celebrate August 7th.
Muchas partes se celebra el 7 de agosto. ¿Para cuándo?
He comes out of tapas that day.
Ah, ok, porque es el voluntario de tapas.
He finished 12 years of tapas.
Y acabó 12 años de tapas.
Now, a lot of great souls, 12 years is the main time when they do the tapas.
Muchos grandes maestros hacen tapas por 12 años.
Jesus Christ must have done 12 years.
Por ejemplo, Jesucristo hizo tapas por 12 años.
Ramana Harshi.
No, así.
I know that Shivananda did tapas.
Yo sé que Shivaratri hizo tapas,
I do not know how long.
pero no sé qué tanto tiempo. But he did, he was close to
Yeah, I got to go to the spot right where he did his tapas. It was along the Ganga River.
Estuve ahí al lado del campo donde hizo tapas,
Yeah.
autoridades de
Any great souls do this tapas of meditating.
todos los grandes seres hacen tapas, autoridades de
Shiva Yogi put me in tapas.
Shiva Yogi
He put me in tapas.
me puso a mí en tapas.
But no 23 hours a day.
Pero no 3 horas al día.
A short one. 10 hours a day.
No, lo más complicado es
I will open up any questions.
¿Hay alguna pregunta? Sí, algún, that happens to your guru.
What's that?
It does happen to your guru. She asked,
What happened to my guru?
what you told.
Yeah, yes. So, he just passed away in 1987. So,
Dejó el cuerpo en 1900.
1997. I did it again. Yeah, 1997. Wasn't that long ago. Some of you have been born.
Ella estaba en prison. ¿Y el 73? 97. O 97.
He really never gave any satsangs.
Nunca dio ningún satsang.
There would be a program like this,
Pero un programa así,
and after the program, people could come up and talk to him.
después del programa la gente se levantaba y hablaba con él.
Most people I saw would just get speechless in front of him.
La mayoría de la
They
gente
just- they didn't know what to say. Is this all of a sudden everything just disappears sometimes around people? They don't know where they are or why they got there.
quedaba como así, no sabían de dónde estaban, de dónde estaban.
People would go into Baba around him. Sometimes 100 people are up and dancing and not touching each other.
Muchas veces había mucha gente que se mandaba a bailar.
Yeah. It is amazing. I saw it with my eyes.
Yo lo vi con mis ojos.
Yeah.
Pero más se pregunta.
There are areas in the world where the opposites doesn't exist anymore, where getting close to that.
A veces cuando
¿Tú crees que estamos transitando un mundo en el cual no existan opuestos, llegando más cerca a la verdad?
Tell me in English.
Do you think we are in a world where there is no opposite?
What about the opposite?
Pairs of opposite. Do you think there's in this world there's no pairs of opposite?
Oh, it is and isn't, like I told you.
O sea, hay pero no hay.
See, as long as you are relating that there's me and that going out there,
Mientras percibamos que soy yo y hay algo afuera,
that pairs of opposites does exist.
ahí en ese momento existen los pares de opuestos.
Now, where you would like to be in this life is right in the middle,
Lo que quieres es estar en el centro,
where you are grounded and you're right in the middle and you're content whatever happens.
estás en el centro, estás centralizado, puedes contener todo lo que pasa.
Where other people might see it turning very dark for you, you might smile through that whole thing, or you don't see the darkness.
Aunque la gente dice, no, eso es pura oscuridad lo que le está pasando, uno ni siquiera percibe eso.
Your world crashes down, your family dies in front of you, and yet you are content right there.
Después de que el mundo acabase, toda tu familia feliz y uno estaba tranquilo en paz.
The next day, you win the lottery of billion pesos.
Y al otro día se ganó uno una lotería millonaria,
And it doesn't faze you. It doesn't make you excited, happy, or sad.
tampoco pero no te
This-
disturba.
This is called real happiness right
Y
there.
eso es la verdadera felicidad. Swami,
Would you like to be there?
¿quieres estar ahí?
Now the roller coasters, you know? Ah, this is great. Oh, no, it ain't great.
Ahora eso nos ponemos allá, ay, qué dice, Swami, I want to know what exactly happened in Shivaratri. Why we celebrate Shivaratri?
There's a lot of people say it was that birth that I talk about, that between Brahma and Vishnu. Yep.
Él dice que Shivaratri es cuando apareció la columna de luz.
In the temples in India, most of them, they serve bhang.
En los templos sirven pan, ¿verdad?
Bhang is B-H-A-N-G, bhang. It's a drink, the Shiva drink.
Sirve una
Yeah.
bebida de Shiva.
Yeah. Pretty potent.
Perfecto, aguardiente.
Yeah, it's got marijuana in it.
Marihuana. Tiene marihuana ahí. Okay, because Shivananda says Shivaratri is the marriage of Parvati and Shiva. To be,
I heard that too. I think there's many reasons why they celebrate that day of Shiva. At that date is that we celebrate by bhajans, music is a big part of it. Yeah. And we put a linga. A linga is a big involvement of the Shivaratri. Now I have to a little bit explain how Swami looks at a linga. It's not just a rock to me. It has a shape to it. It doesn't really have any sharp corners or nothing to it. If you put water over it, it goes all different directions. And the linga, when you look at it, it starts, if you look at it strong enough, it starts looking back at you. It hits me right in my third eye. It's so easy to meditate in front of a linga. Linga is very, very powerful. It's like all the energy in the world has been put into that linga. And when people worship that linga, it's putting more energy in it too. So part of the Shivaratri is constantly honoring the linga. We will pour leche over it, We'll put honey.
miel,
We'll put things like kumkum on it,
le ponemos cúrcuma,
cardamom. We
eh,
decorate it beautiful.
y lo decoramos muy bonito.
We'll make some, what do you call it, with flowers?
Sí, hacemos como un collar de flores,
And we'll honor it with flowers.
y lo honramos con las flores.
We'll get many flowers.
Y cogemos muchas flores.
It looks so beautiful with linga with flowers, don't you
Se
think?
ve muy lindo una linda con flores.
We'll, as we put over this here milk, we will say a mantra. Instead of just pour it over there, we're going to put some direction, our whole direction towards that linga.
Y vamos a poner todo nuestro enfoque en el Shivaratri.
If we put that energy towards Shiva like this, we're rewarded 10 times more coming back to us.
Si hacemos eso, nos vamos a beneficiar 10 veces más.
This knowledge of the self starts awakening.
Empieza a despertar el ser dentro de nosotros.
This devotion you have with your heart, it opens up your whole soul.
Y toda esta devoción que tenemos en el corazón abre todo.
It surrenders the ego,
Y destruye el ego.
and it opens up to this true knowledge of Shiva.
Nos abre conocimiento de Shiva.
Anybody want that?
¿Quieren eso?
Hopefully everybody.
Esperamos que sí. So sorry, because I heard that because it's not like a date, like a fixed date, Shivaratri.
No,
Because of the cosmic
it goes by the
energy.
moon all
Yeah,
the time.
exactly. So what is exactly what is the energy exactly?
Hmm?
What is the quality of the energy?
The quality,
Yeah.
100%.
Es como la calidad de energía que queremos, pero no es como no es como calendario, sino que es una constelación cósmica. ¿Y qué es lo que pasa energéticamente desde la energía del 100%?
I can't truly understand it yet of this nature of the universe and how everything is moving. Shiva Yogi pointed out to meditate always to the east or the north is the easiest way to meditate.
Entonces Shiva Yogi decía que siempre meditar hacia el norte o hacia el oriente es lo más fácil.
The west is the hardest direction to meditate.
Y el occidente es lo más difícil.
In India, all the temples are made for you are facing east. This facing east?
Sí. Todos los templos en la India enfrentamos como acá el oriente.
So it's easier for you to do bhakti.
Es norte.
North is best, north or east.
Y lo importante es que sea al norte o al oriente.
Yeah.
A la punta de alto la vida superviviente.
Al hacer con esta figura de Shiva, sucede lo mismo que con la figura de la leche, es decir, si yo me acerco a ofrecerle esa oración, si no lo hago nuevamente voy a recibir como ese caos.
So she asked, for the Shiva Linga, if we start worshipping and then we don't happen the same, like from Ganesh.
Yeah, not good.
No, bueno.
Yeah. Always should pour water every day on the linga
Siempre que echarle agua.
or leche. Yeah. Some parent pour leche on it every day.
O water or what?
Milk.
O leche.
Yeah. In the Tibetan worships of their deities, they put water out every day for their deities. Make sure there's always water out for each one of them.
En la isla como las deidades tienen agua siempre.
But like there's a blue tanka, or red tanka, white tanka. Each one of them should have water in front of
Entonces
each
todas
one.
las deidades tienen
Yeah.
agua.
Any other questions?
¿Más preguntas?
Good. We're all enlightened.
She wants to know what is the way to become Swami.
What is what?
The way.
The way. You want to be a Swami? Women can be, yeah.
Que las mujeres también pueden ser Swami.
Yeah. There is, like Sankaracharya, he went around India and he started the 4 schools of being a Swami.
El Shankaracharya estuvo por toda la India destacado y fundó 4 escuelas para volverse Swami.
One of them is for devotion, I remember, I don't know the rules on it.
Hay una que es una escuela de devoción, no es escuela para ellos.
The other 3 are more of 12 years of studying with the Guru.
Las otras 3 es estar 12 años estudiando con el Guru.
And one of them I know in the northern is that you got 11 years to study with the Guru, and then the 12th year you're on your own. It's like a test, and you have to go and never beg for money, but ask, or money, I should say food. You don't beg for food, but yet you are there to knock at the door and ask if they would like to have some knowledge.
Okay. Entonces, él están 11 años estudiando, después el 12 es como la prueba, y tiene que, o sea, no pueden pedir comida, sino que pueden ir a ofrecer conocimiento. Si les dan comida bien, pero no piden comida.
The direction that Swami went, did tapas for 7 years.
Yo hice tapas, austeridades por 7 años,
Sitting for 10 hours a day.
y necesitaba meditar por 10 horas al día.
That only takes 7 years if you're interested.
Ya, solamente por 7 años.
Should we end it?
Continuamos mañana. Mañana y también por la noche, el jueves, ¿no sé? Porque el jueves ahí entonces mañana vamos a continuar. Hoy es viernes. El sábado es el Shivaratri. Y bueno, ahí les vamos a avisar cómo va a ser. Es algo muy especial. Sí. No les voy a decir nada más. Bueno, muy bien, entonces vamos a acabar con los mantras finales, con el Triambakam. Con el Triambakam, recordemos que estamos en el Shivaratri. Bye.
Hey, thank you.
Suryopati Chandrataraman Devavito Totanti Totoyapanti Tameva Mantarvati Sarvantasya Pasya Vipati Om Gangesha Yamuresha Rarari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kavela Vastubhyamo Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandusha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Traminam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyaiva Uyamanava Prakrite Swabhava Karoli Jaja Sakalam Parasmai Narayanai Tisarva Prayami Sarvadharmam Prityaje Mamekam Sharanam Dayam Aham Tva Sarvapapekyo Kushai Shami Masushapa.
Chicos, entonces clase de yoga a las 8 y nos encontramos a las 12.